Hi everyone, welcome to Observability Guru. Today we are going to discuss Datadog Bits AI SRE, which is one of the hotly released features of Datadog. It's a AI agent which will allow you to troubleshoot and automatically obtain root causes. So we're going to test this feature with multiple scenarios, and as usual I'm going to use our application, the car rental application, where the functionality is same. If you are following our channel, where we have location service which is getting the data from location microservice, the detail is coming from the car service, and the pricing details are coming again from the car service, and we have a reservation service as well. So if I go to the EC2 instance, which is hosting this, I can look at the services, and you can see this is the reservation service, this is the car service, and we have the location service and everything as well. So I already have Datadog up and running for this set of application. So if I go to APM and if I look at services, uh, you can able to see the services start appearing. And if I go to logs, most of the logs are start coming into the Datadog as well. So Datadog typically has all the logs, metrics, and traces. So you can see everything is coming. We have a couple of monitors by default being created, but I created a one monitor which will alert us in case if there's an increase in uh, uh, errors into location service. So this is what we're going to check. Right. So location service is getting triggered when we go to this page. So the data will be populated from here. So we'll try to simulate an error here. Okay, the first error I'm going to simulate is, let's do the easiest thing. Let's kill this location service so that it will not generate this. And let's go to our site. Let me just refresh the page and let's start generating some traffic. So other service is working fine, but you will see location service data is not coming. Here again, I'll start generating couple of traffic until we see the alert getting fired. Well, I created a one alert because most of these alerts errors now looks like getting captured in API gateway. So I created an alert in API gateway to alert us in case if it is encountering errors. Right? So all the location service, all those failures will be first captured in here. So we see this alert already been fired. So let us so one way you can start using is, now the alert is fired, you want to know the root cause. Let's go and ask Bits AI SRE to investigate. So you can click it here, and from here you can trigger an investigation. So Bits AI SRE is an AI agent which is been packaged part of Datadog. So it has its own way of running. So what it does is, initially it will get the details of the alert. So it will consume the payload, understand what is all the payload related details, and then it will go through what it calls a start investigation, where it will try to understand the high level details, why these alerts got triggered. Generally, Datadog goes through a very methodical process where it will first check whether there are any run books, and it will do a account-wide search, and it will try to see the historical failures as well. And based on all of this data, it will try to understand the failure scenarios. And once the failure scenarios are identified, it will try to validate some of these failure scenarios. So the failure scenarios, generally it's called as hypothesis. So it will try to validate these hypothesis, and with the existing telemetry data. Now here you can see uh, it has done the initial investigation, and what it has done, it from the so as I said, it will look at the runbook details. So at the moment we have not given any much detail in the runbook. It was just a blank alert, nothing in the alert body, but this is something which we can improve in future. So we can provide runbook details, and then we can provide it will look at historical failures. So this is the first time we are using this in this account. There was no failure, but still it will look at the memory, and it will do a general search. And with this is it came up with initial finding. So what it says is backend connection failures cause connection refuse errors on API location in API gateway, causing 500 responses. So it is looking at these failures, right? So while it's happening, let's also generate couple of more traffic. So the failures is still there. So we can see, so it identify the reason, right? So if you look at that particular alert which we have created, let's go and check the red alert. So the red alert is for any API gateway related failures. We are so at the moment it has turned green because there are no failures now. But let's go and look at that alert. So what that alert means is if there's even a single failure within a 5 minutes minute period, right? So if there are a single errors within API gateway, this will trigger. So this is just alert, and we don't have anything in the body. It's just a like a title again repeated in the email body. Not a great alert, but we are trying to see what Bits AI SRE is able to do. So I think we have to be little happy within the first the initial finding itself. It was able to isolate it to a slash API location, right? So it came up with the initial finding, so which is good, and then it created a hypothesis. So it's created a lot of hypothesis failure scenarios. It went with those failure scenarios and start validating these scenarios, and finally it came up with its root cause. So what it's saying is backend refuse connection errors. The root cause of the API gateway errors is that backend service, this particular service was not accepting connection, resulted in connection refuse error. So it's saying its service is not accepting the request. So its API location endpoint based evidence. So it has given the evidence saying finish and all those things. It has given the trace related to these failures as well. We can go and check this particular trace. So it's able to understand it's related to API location, and this is the where it's having the error, connection refused. So it's able to give that backend connection refused. So all the hypotheses are related to the backend detail. So it was able to identify that, right? So let's ask, we can even have a conversation with the Bits AI. We can say, so what is the exact root cause? So we can ask Bits AI, if you are not clear, so what is that exact root cause? So it's saying the backend service it was not accepting, and that is the main reason. So I see sometimes this UI issue happen where it's sometimes little difficult to go up. But if you see, it says no telemetry available on itself. Okay, so how? Let's ask like how to fix it. So it's saying, okay, probably restart this service. So it's 903 is restart the backend service. If not, all right. Okay. So will this service we know location, so we can ask is location service is up and running. So that's a question we can ask. So it is coming and say, I don't have direct access to check status of the backend. How I can help you check API locations from from investigation API location request because it couldn't connect. They strongly suggest that backend service, likely location service, was down or not accepting connection. I cannot confirm its current status because there are no Datadog telemetry from backend host itself. No monitors or investigation. Would you like me to query recent trace logs for? Okay. So what we can check is okay, it's not able to figure it out whether so we what we can do is we can ask whether can you check location service processes up and running. So that's one of the key thing. So it says I don't have ability to SSH host or check running processes. My capabilities are limited to querying Datadog telemetry logs, traces, metric, and performing actions. Um, all right. Okay. So the good news is it was able to isolate that this issue is related to API location. So which is from my side, I think it's good. Uh, but let's try to see, right, how we can improve it. Let's say, can you check what are the processes running on this EC2 host? Okay, so it's saying I can't check I don't have SHO. So I think like that's probably one of the uh, the capabilities which is currently missing, because if you see, if I go to host infrastructure host, and then host is have the ability of looking at all the processes. I go to host, and then I should be able to see the host detail here. I should be able to see the host detail here, and pretty much I should be able to see all the running processes as well. So at the moment, if I search for location, it's not running. Let's tell Bits AI, can you do that? Let's say this is running on, this is running on this one. Can you check under host the processes running on top of this host? Check there is anything called location service. So we'll try to help and see whether it's able to do that. Yeah, so it's that's probably a limitation, but I think we should be happy. Generally, it looks like it has worked fine. So if you see, it look at the error, and then it did the initial investigation. It was able to understand something wrong with the API location, even though the alert came related to API gateway, and it did the hypothesis. It went through some of the failure scenarios, and then it came up with the nice root cause, right? So says it's not accepting request. So this is good. Let us look for another scenario. Okay. What I did now is I go and restart all the services. So API location, API gateway, location service, car service, reservation, everything is up and running. So this is good. So this will allows me to check our application. Yes, everything is working fine. So let me do one thing, right? Let me probably disable a port or something, and let's try to create some alert. So what I did is I actually gone and disable the MySQL port. So ideally speaking, everything should stop working. So I'm not getting any other things. So everything is not working. Let's try to check whether it is generate alert and whether we can use Bits AI SRE to investigate this as well. Yes, so we have couple of alerts already there. We have another API gateway error, another location service error. So let's do one thing. Let's uh, investigate both together. Let it run. So let me go first to check what is the error for increase in API gateway errors. Let me ask Bits AI SRE, go and investigate this. So there's this another error which is about increase in location service related failures. So I'll just go and ask Bits AI SRE investigate this. So this is what we will do. So let's monitor one, right? Let's start looking at the increase in API gateway request. So as usual, it's look at the alert and it start doing the initial investigation. As I said, Bits AI SRE, it will look at your runbook, and runbooks are detailed usually pulled up. You'll have to embed them part of your email alert body. So at the moment I have not put anything, so probably that's one reason why some of our root causes are not that great. But let's see, right? Let's wait and see, and then it will look at the memory, the past, recalling past investigation from memory, and it will do a general search, right? So this will get you the initial detail. So this is what Bits AI SRE is doing to obtain the initial investigation. So I'll pause the video for a few minutes until it comes with the investigation. Great. It start summarizing the detail now. You can see. Let's click this view, right? So it's look at the runbook, right? So it was able to found that uh, there's no run book, but it looks pretty decent, right? It was able to say JDBC connection failure in car service. So there were errors, API related to MySQL exceptions. So it was able to get some of this detail. So what is the initial finding? So its initial finding is car service shows JDBC connection failure with connection pull timeout errors, reservation. So all those JDBC errors, right? 500 errors. And then let's go and see. It's creating a hypothesis. So what are the hypotheses? It's assuming, okay, is there a failure with JDBC connection failures, or is there a MySQL connection failure, or whether there's a JDBC connection failure, right? So it's then it will start going and validating it, right? So what once the hypothesis or the failure scenarios are created, the Datadog Bits AI SRE will use the X16 telemetry data it's have access to and go and try to invalidate or whether data is inconclusive to make a decision. So at the moment it's going through the validation phase. Let's wait and see. It's still going through this hypothesis validation detail. You can see it's looking at one of the hypotheses as JDBC connection failure. So that was kind of like validated. There were other hypothesis which is uh, kind of like being validated as well. So let's see So this is a very nice view, right? So if you can see, it is looking at JDBC connection failure, and it's checking whether MySQL database is whether it's responding properly, whether it's a network latency between the application and the database, and all those details. So this is very good real time. It was able to understand some of the detail, and now it's finished its hypothesis and it came up with final conclusion. So it says car service to MySQL network failure cause pool extortion, leading API gateway error. The root cause of API gateway spike is network connectivity failure between car service and MySQL database. So it's good. So it was pretty much able to understand and navigate that there's a connection failure between the application and the database, which is good. And then it has provided all the errors as well. So we can quickly go to the traces. So it says, okay, the find car details, it's having the error. So the error is also, it's identify those unable to acquire database connections. And so this is good, right? Like, so it was able to identify root causes, it isolated, but let us ask, right, how to fix this issue. So this is the beauty of this. We have that option of having a conversation. Okay, so it's giving me couple of. So this is what where I don't really like it. Where I think it definitely have a UI issue, which. So let us do one thing, right? Let me just copy this. Okay, I finally able to go up. So based on the investigation, here's what's happening and how to fix it. Root cause. The API gateway errors are caused by network connectivity failure between your backend services and MySQL database. So all those services fail to acquire JDBC connection due to communication link failure. Okay. Check the MySQL database availability. Verify MySQL database instance is running and reachable from your application pod host. Check the network connectivity from the host. Restart affected services. So it was able to give some long-term solution as well. I start testing, right? So it was asking us to check whether do a test and see a telnet. So let us just do and see. Okay, so because I know for sure this was not working and trying, so we will probably will give this detail to agent and ask. Can you help confirm hanging? Yeah. Oh. Can it confirm hanging required? Next step, check if MySQL service running on the host. It says, let me get this closer to here. Yeah, so MySQL is running. So port is listening. So check security group, firewall rule, verify that MySQL security group allowed inbound traffic. So this is the one I did. So I actually disable. This is from traffic group. Let me just put everything into this chat. So it's interesting. So it's guiding me. So good finding, MySQL is running, listening on the port. So okay, so it was able to little bit smartly figure it out. There's some issue with the security group. Okay, so let's do one thing, right? Let me just go inside. I'll I'll check my security group details and share with Bits AI. Okay, let me share this. This is data is in security group. Okay, it was able to identify uh, the port 1336 is missing from security group, and that is the root cause. So so idea is that it was uh, didn't went to the deep and just tell me exactly, yeah, the port was not missing, but it was able to identify, allows me some detail without I am spending too much time, allows me to isolate this issue. So this is good. So let's see, this is good. And we also, there was a one alert, another alert came in, which is about spike uh, the traffic. So I think it should increase in location services. It should have gone to something very similar. So what was the root? Uh, Database connection failure, right? So it was able to isolate, and then there was hypothesis, and then finally it's gone and say root cause of the alert is sudden spike in database connection failures, right? So I'm not too sure, right? I don't think it's able to have now that agent look at one alert and identify the root cause, but now whether it's sharing the detail. But let's ask, is MySQL down or what is inaccessible? Okay, so we ask a pointed question. The investigation could not confirm whether MySQL was down, right? So that probably doesn't have much detail. So that's interesting. So let's go a little up. So let's go a little up. Based on the investigation finding, here's what we determine. MySQL server down. The investigation could not confirm whether the service is actually down or crashed. There are no server-side logs or anything. So that's probably something which we should be able to provide later. Network port inaccessibility validated. The evidence is strongly pointing network level connectivity failure. So it was and it says the root cause MySQL port become unreachable. Okay. So it's again little close. So that's good. I added the port now. So ideally I should be able to see things start working now. Let's see. Yeah, start working fine now. So this alert should be disappeared in short time. So in nutshell, Bits AI SR is doing a decent job. It was able to identify some of these issues relatively well, and it was able to provide us uh, direction where to investigate. So that's the beauty of Bits AI SRE. So I can go back again. So here, once you go to Bits SRE Agent, I should be able to see now the test which we have done, and it will able to provide me with the report of the analysis. So the beauty is that a mean time to conclusion. So all those three alerts, even though it was not able to go deep, but it was able to provide me a direction within 3 minutes, right? Within probably 3.5 minutes, which is very powerful. So by the time when your on-call team members join, they not only see the alert, but they can now have some investigation which will drive them for the root cause. So this is really good, right? So next what we'll try to do is we'll try to create the similar alert, but let's try to go and improve our agent, our alerts. So we'll provide more context to the agent and see whether it's able to identify some of these failures. Most of the monitors are green now, so let's go and update these two alerts. And when I say update, I'm adding little more context so that yeah, let's see that whether agent is able to go little deeper now. Okay, so let me go inside this alert, and within the application, within the email, the alert body, I can add some detail. So I'm adding like, I'll give more context to the application is constructed of front-end application and back-end services. So I gave the microservice detail and the SQL server details as well. And this alert also, I'll do something similar. All right. Okay. So now that we have this, probably we'll go and we'll do the easiest thing. We'll kill one of those. Let's kill the location service again. 3374. Okay. Location service is no longer there. We go to our application. So reservation is coming, price and details are coming, but no location service. Let us create some more traffic. So hopefully this should create an alert in our monitor. Let's check whether, let's wait for some time whether this alert is getting generated. So we'll see. Okay, I think alert is getting generated already. Not yet. We'll wait. Okay, okay, so we have our alert now. Let's go to the alert, and yes, so there's this alert. So let's get Bits AI SRE to investigate. Let's see it's how it's performed now. So we recreated a very similar alert. We just kill this microservice, and let's see how Bits AI is going to work here. So as usual, it's look at the monitor and it's trying to do the initial, sorry, it's trying to do the initial the analysis. So it's picking the details from the runbook, and it's picking the detail from memory, and it's doing a general search as well. So I'll keep it here, and we'll see how the Bits AI is able to pull this data. So while Bits AI is doing its work, so one of the thing I want to highlight is if you want to get the best out of Bits AI, so you definitely have to update more detail in the monitor, providing more context. So and it not necessarily means that you'll have to dump everything into the email, the alert body. You can have it in your Confluence page, and there you can integrate Confluence or any other page with Datadog, so that links you can integrate with the alert, so that way that you can provide more details. So that's always better, the more details you provide. And if you see, like, my monitors are very basic. I'm kind of like not using tagging and other things. So basically, I probably it's best now you start tagging things properly, tag it to the proper service, and the logs tag it to the proper service. So that's where that, like, it's you have to, even though it's AI, it doesn't mean that it's magically will identify the root cause. You will have to still consider it as a new team member. Start training it, provide run book, tell it what your application is doing, tell it as a front end, tell it had back end services, tell that back end services are based out of microservices. Give more detail about the microservice as well. Probably give the command how to check whether the process is up and running. Once you have all those details, it's like a good team member. It will try to do that for you. So now it has done the initial investigation. So it's able to identify, yes, there's a connection refused, connection failures, connection refuse errors in API gateway. So it was it understand, like, why the errors are coming from, what's the reason for errors. So let's see, like, whether it's able to go into detail, right? So it's creating the hypothesis. So while it's doing that, let us create some traffic as well. This is always good. We create traffic, we uh, keep our Bits AI SRE guessing as well. Yes, it's happening. So let's go and check. Yes. So let's give some time for Bits AI SRE agent to go through this. So there are a lot of agents in the market. So one thing I like about Bits AI SRE is not only it's just provide you the root cause, but it will do that with a certain confident level, and that confident comes with, it will go and try to validate these hypothesis, the failure scenarios with the existing telemetry data, and then it will provide you its view. So as you can see, it came up with the investigation conclusion. So it says API errors caused by connection refuse, right? API connection refuse. So it was able to say this is related to get API location endpoint. And then it has given, probably if I go to the tracers, it's able to say, uh, okay, what was this issue? So there's this connection failure errors. So there are other options also it's giving. So it says what services running on, and are there past engineering. So the investigation wrap up, and what part of would you like to report further. So I can get it to create an incident and say create an incident for API gateway connection reviews. I'll help you create an incident for this issue. Let me first discover the available actions, get the details for creating a Datadog incident. So that's one thing, like, we can use it to create incident as well. Say yes. So let's see. Agent is able to create an incident. It says bad request. Let me retry with, yeah. It's like a team member, right? It might make mistake. Will identify the mistake, and then it will just try to uh, fix it by itself, right? 400 back request. Say create an incident, your title, and you all can create self. Yeah, so let's try to see whether agent can do that for us. Unfortunately, the incident creation action keep failing because your Datadog organization required description field that isn't supported as a configuration parameter in the available action. This is a limitation of current action infusion. So yeah, that's fine, right? Like, okay, so that's probably a limitation. So let's ask how to fix this issue. Are you able to see location service microservice process running on the host processes? So it says the service is either down or crash, and it's doing what it was doing previously. It was giving some command to see whether up and running. So let's do that. One second. Let's check whether what it's saying. Okay. Let's just share this with our agent and see what agent is saying. This empty output, nothing is, so immediate check. It says, look at that location service name. Probably we'll try to get that location service name from here and give it to it. So this is the jar. We'll give this output to our agent. It simply says, yeah, probably no, just go and start it. So it was doing a decent job. I wouldn't say like, it's perfect, but I think it's in the right direction. So that's it. That's what we want to go through. Those are a couple of demos I want to focus, and let us check one or two examples more. Okay, so I restarted all my services again. So everything is good. Let us do a quick check. It's loading. Everything is loading. So this is good. So this allows us to check whether this we'll do another one final scenario and see how it is going. Okay, so we'll check for one other last scenario. So I have created a one alert to look at the API response time, API gateway response time. So it is breaching. Because I probably ask to get myself alert if it take more than 2 seconds. So let's use Bits AI SRE to investigate this. So while we do that, let me also create a couple of traffic. Uh, okay, so it's kicking off Bits AI SRE investigation. So it's look at the API gateway response and then it's looking at the runbook, memory, and general search to support to obtain initial analysis. Okay, it came up with the initial findings. So let's just go there and check. So it says high latency API gateway location service. So it identify the latency is coming from location service, and also there's something for car service as well. And it went through the hypothesis, and finally it came up with the detail. The spike in traffic primarily due to high latency downstream car service. Trace so that get cast request almost 5 seconds during wait time on downstream. While underlying MySQL grows, so no errors, indicating the bottleneck in the response of service layer of car service. Okay. The latency is mainly caused by downstream car span, which partly second. Okay, let's go inside and see. It's okay. Even okay. So it looks like uh, so we can ask, right, what is the root cause here? So we'll ask that. Okay. Okay. The API get to response time spike was caused by high latency in car service. So it's looking at 5 seconds. The bottleneck, FN find all. This gap. Okay, so I think it's coming closer. Even it has shared the what you call this particular. Uh, it shared that particular uh, the span as well. So it's again little decent. Probably we can live with it. So thanks everyone. Thanks for taking time. So today we went through live demos of Bits AI SRE. So in order to get this the best out of it, you will have to add more runbook knowledge to the agent. Make sure you use tagging and other things. So treat it as a your team member so you can get the best out of it. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Bye.